Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with your host, Gabrielle Mazar. On today's show, Gabrielle interviews the creator of the Feel Amazing Naked program and podcast, Amanda Walker. Amanda is on a mission to help women feel amazing naked and create a sustainable solution to feel their best in their own skin. She believes sustainability is sexy, but we know the process to get there is messy. And now here's your host, personal trainer and stretch therapist, Gabrielle Mazar.
Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People. I'm your host, Gabby Mazar. And on today's episode, I have Amanda Walker, the creator of the Feel Amazing Naked program. And she is on a mission to help busy women feel amazing naked. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to record with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Tell me, what exactly does that mean? What does it mean to you, feel amazing naked?
I mean, at first glance, you see that and you automatically get kind of this aesthetic visual, right? And you see it excites you. You're like, yeah, I want to feel amazing naked. To me, it's a little bit deeper than that. It's truly feeling amazing in your own skin, like all parts of you, right? Your physical self, but also, the parts of us that we might be trying to hide, the parts of us that we've judged for our whole freaking life and we're done with it. So really for me, it means that you can embody all of yourself and you have just you drop the facade and you just are who you are and you love all parts.
Yeah, inside and out, feeling comfortable in your own skin, loving who you are, not having any of those little things that you feel uncomfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what brought you to what brought you to that? What brought you to Feel Amazing Naked and your program and all of that to want to bring to other people?
I mean, like many women, I went through a lot of ups and downs with my body throughout my life, but none really rivaled how I felt after having babies and having, miscarriages and, gaining a lot of weight during pregnancies. When I had my last child, my second, I was just kind of in this place of real pure body shame, if I'm being honest. And so this was a catalyst for me to begin working on my own health journey and kind of got to this like textbook where every woman would be wanting to go, this 6-pack ab space. And when I got there, quite frankly, I was obsessed, I was overwhelmed, and I was the most probably unhappy and lacked the most confidence and insecurity that I ever had. And that was when it kind of dawned on me of like that thing I'd been chasing, the happiness I thought I would experience through a body journey did not exist. And that's when the light bulbs went on of like, oh yeah, there's so much more to this. And a lot of it has to do with what's happening on the inside. And fast forward, I was helping clients kind of in a more, I would say, nutrition focused way. And my soul was not feeling gratified by that experience fully. And I was on a retreat with colleagues and she's like, okay, cut the BS, Amanda, like what do you really want to do? And very organically out of my mouth came like, I want to help women feel amazing naked. And she was like, that's it. So right away I was like, whoa, that's going to be the focus. And since that moment years ago, we've built our group programs around it. We also run a podcast called Feel Amazing Naked. And for me, it's helping women see that they can totally experience transformation in their life externally, whether it's losing weight, whether it's becoming debt-free, whether it's improving relationships, whether it's building a business. And also those things will not take you to that end destination without running alongside of it, this parallel internal personal development journey.
Yeah, I think we forget to realize that all of those things are intertwined. And if you aren't happy in all of those things, or if you aren't not necessarily happy, but if you aren't working towards all of those, you're kind of falling short in all of the other things. You can't just work on one thing, the physical, and be mentally unhappy or unhappy in your relationship because it's not necessarily what's bringing you that unhappiness. And I think a lot of women can definitely relate to, I don't have kids, but I've heard it time and time and time again, that after pregnancy, your body is just different. And it's so hard for women because you go through this huge change and it's just not the same. And I think it's that mental space that is just really difficult to kind of grasp for women, and to feel amazing in your own skin after that. So I think that epiphany is huge. So you work a lot with women on mindset and working through that as well. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you work with that and help women through that?
I think that this like term mindset is definitely thrown around right now. Like if you pop on Instagram, there's a lot of people calling themselves mindset coaches. And also I think it's important to understand that there are areas of mindset that are, are unique. For me, one of the areas that's super interesting that we do a lot of work around, well, first, let me back up, is I think for a lot of us, when we desire transformation or change, especially if it's body related, immediately we're like, I got to change the food. I got to change the workout routine, right? I'm going to start there at those things. The way we teach is actually those are things that we work on down the road. So if you imagine a pyramid, at the base of that pyramid for us is mindset, and we call it emotional management. Above that is sleep, a little smaller. It's not till we actually get to that next part that we start looking at food. And even smaller above that is exercise. And at the peak of the pyramid is joy. So I say that because I think for a lot of us, we've been trained incorrectly in our mind. And so what happens is we go for behavior change first, go change my food, go change my fitness routine. And then we find some sort of plan of attack that works in the short term. And sometimes those are super quick fix strategies, like no carbs, take out the alcohol, no sweets, sugar, right? We go through these very like extreme, non-moderate attempts. And so they work in the short term. We might even see our body transform pretty aggressively in those times. However, what's missing is that core foundation underneath it. And so if you, let's just say, don't have a belief inside you that the change is actually possible, or one that I see for a lot of women is they have a core belief that they'll never be consistent, like that consistency is not inside them. And so what happens is when our beliefs in our unconscious mind do not actually mirror the behavior change we're going through, then there will be a time where the bottom falls out and there will be a start over. It will be a cycle. So we call this congruency. If our beliefs don't match our behavior change, then at some point that belief is going to be like, oh, look, you totally missed this week. You suck. Start over. Here we go. Right. So the belief system is searching for a way out to prove that you are inconsistent, right? Because it's a limiting belief you've carried with you your whole life. And so a lot of what we teach is to get really self-aware of what's happening inside our unconscious mind. It's that 95% of our beliefs and our thoughts and our things that we've been installed with since we were little, right? So we might have picked up this belief that I can't be consistent when we were 5 years old, and it's played out our entire life. So I say all of that with just a really clear desire to help women uncover some of those limiting beliefs so they can have congruency. Or another one that happens often is girls will think that they should lose weight because of what they see externally of like this picture perfect, body that's like the right way, but they're actually really happy in their life. So then they go and they try to change, and then inside they're like, yeah, but I'm kind of happy here. So they constantly self-sabotage their behaviors because they actually don't want to change. And so I think it's so important for women to do that root work, and then the actual behavioral stuff that I mentioned at the top, food, fitness, it's just so much easier. It just happens easily and effortlessly.
Yeah, and I think that also it's we need to understand too that, like you said, our beliefs are something that we've dealt with our entire life. Our habits are something that we've done our entire life. So it's not a change that's going to happen overnight. A diet plan or a habit change or working on your inner self, your mindset is not something that's going to change like that. It's something that you're constantly working towards, just like something that's happened in growing up every single day. I wake up every single morning, I feed my dogs, I brush my teeth, I make myself a cup of coffee. These are your habitual things that you do every single day that you have to work towards. So finding that consistency and doing those things and working on yourself and doing everything every step of the way, all those things do start to fall into place, and then you're slowly making those habits. And like you said, if your goal is weight loss, or if your goal is feeling better or getting better sleep, or if it's work related, job related, goal related, whatever it may be, all those things do start to fall into place because you're starting to change those little things inside to create that change outside. And I think we forget that, or we want it so quickly that we just don't think about it. So it's interesting that you say that, and you work on that pyramid and work on this piece first. It's a building block. It's like building a house, and working on yourself is definitely building that house, building that brick by brick, piece by piece, to get to where you want to be. And it's the same thing with business. I know you do business coaching as well. You can't just step into a business and here you go, happy day. It's building the foundation of business piece by piece.
Yeah,
so
which business starts with mindset too, which is something that is kind of overlooked often too, as we're so focused on strategy. And truthfully, strategy actually doesn't take place. I see so many times with the ladies I coach is, if they don't work on their fear, their emotional management around fear, doubt, then they have all this amazing knowledge of strategy, but they never take action because they're paralyzed by their thoughts and feelings.
Sure. And I'm sure that, like, you had an idea. I want to help women feel amazing naked. And you started there. That was your big idea. And then from there, you kind of grew that business strategy, that business plan, and built around that. Maybe it was your podcast that started, or whatever it might be, building a website, building a podcast, building a following, and then execute your plan. And some people never get to that point, right? And you're right. I think it is fear also. There is fear in maybe reaching that goal, maybe fear in losing weight, maybe fear in cutting out Diet Coke or whatever it might be. There's definitely a lot of fear in any sort of change. I think we do not like change. People. It's hard. It's definitely scary for sure. Yeah. So you've been featured on publications such as Forbes, On Today, Fox Sports Arizona, and a lot of other publications as well. What are your goals for yourself and your business as far as how to reach more women and help more women with your business?
I mean, when I think of big picture goals, it's really based in service. And so whatever opportunities I have, hopping on your show, hopping on others, writing for publications, I mean, our goal is to reach as many women as possible. And so that starts, like you said, brick by brick, right? So, ultimately we have two sides of our company. We have the life coaching side, which is our signature program called Feel Amazing Naked. And then we have business coaching side, which we have two programs there. Our business accelerator, which is kind of for aspiring, budding entrepreneurs. And then our inner circle, which is for ladies already profitable, looking to scale and grow. And so I think for me, ultimately, I want women to see their full potential. And I think that that's one of my greatest fears in life, if I'm being real, is to know I left something out on the table. And I don't want to leave with, regrets of should have, could have, would have, or my children are young enough now that like I am living my dreams. And I think that a lot of times with women, as we hit the 30 and 40 mark, we get adulting. And I hear people with parents call their kids dream killers, and it kind of pisses me off because that's not true. I mean, if you tell yourself that your life has to be on hold while you raise children, that's totally cool. Or while you work a job for somebody else, or while you're in this relationship, that can be true for you. And also it doesn't have to be. So I just want to be a model for women, no matter who you are, that life is not too short to make something happen that you've been like holding on to inside, whether it's build a business, change your life, or if it's just like go on a trip by yourself. I think that that's really just what I believe I've been called to do. Is I'm not a unicorn, and I want to show other women that they have so much potential inside them too.
Well, I think that all comes back to mindset as well. I think that you can, if you think it and believe it, it can definitely be true. If you believe that your children are dream killers, then they will be. If you believe that you can still be an empowered, successful woman with 2 children, then you will be. I think that they don't have to keep you down, and a family doesn't have to keep you down, and you absolutely can achieve anything. Anybody can achieve anything you want if you believe that you can, if you work at it, if you have a plan, if you have an idea, or if you have anything, you can absolutely do anything you want to do. You just have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to have money to do it. There are lots of things that you can do for nothing. I mean, selling stuff on Etsy, you can make crafts and sell stuff on Etsy, costs you nothing, right?
Well, I mean, that's the interesting part. And I talk a lot about this and how we operate around time versus money in our worlds. We operate as though time is an unlimited, abundant resource and money is a scarce resource. And I see this impact women all of the time that I work with, both in business and life coaching, is they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. And then they're wasting god awful amounts of time scrolling on social media, making like a 10-second dinner choice turn into an hour and a half dialogue with their partner, wasting time on the internet doing random stuff. And then when it comes to investing money in themselves, like, oh, no. But the reality is it's way more to go out. It's way easier to go out and make more money, pick up an extra shift, go sell something on OfferUp, go ask for a raise, right? Go start a business. But you can never do that with time. You can never ask for more time. And so I think this is a really important piece, of the puzzle in your own life to evaluate is, are you treating time like it's abundant? And in actuality, what would your life look like if you treated money as though it was abundant and time as though it was a scarce resource?
I love that. Like, that is so profound and absolutely true. I think we've always been taught that, like, spend time doing this, save money. And I think that comes from, like my parents, or probably your parents too, growing up after World War II, the Depression, World War II, parents, in that generation growing up with less. And that was just kind of how it was. You want to save money. But I'll tell you that one of the greatest things that I ever did was hire a house cleaner, because it saves me so much time. It's time. My house was always a mess because I never had enough time. You spend hours cleaning, you get half the house done, then you still have so much stuff to do. And I would come home and I have anxiety because it's not clean. And then I'm thinking about all the things that I have to do that I can't get done. And I can't get my list of things done for work. I can't get anything done because I come home and all I'm thinking about is the dishes need to be done and the floor needs to be clean and the laundry needs to be done. But now I have time to do my laundry because the house is clean. I have time to do the dishes because the house is clean and the bathrooms are clean. And I don't have to spend the time doing that because, yes, I spent that money, but now I have time to do other things. And now I have time to make money, and I make more money. I make more money in the time that I would spend cleaning my house.
Well, and that's really the key is yes, it's time, I mean, the thing to add on to that is the energetic investment of it as well, because it's taking up less bandwidth. You're thinking of it less. For me and my husband, it was like a point of contention often of like, you know, oh my gosh, I got to do this on top of this. But I think it's also when you run a business, shifting from James Wedmore refers to it as the employee mindset to the CEO mindset of, and I love also the book, The Big Leap, when you really start to grow and scale your business, looking at, you know, what is my zone of genius and what areas of my life can only I repeat. And so for me, that's, I can only be a wife to my husband, I can only be a mom to my kids, and I can only be a coach to my clients, right? And so if I were put those priorities at the top of my list, a lot of the other stuff, the majority of the other stuff, I can delegate. And so then that also makes the capacity to make more money a whole hell of a lot more. And it makes me a happier woman because I'm only doing the stuff I love. And that's the key to drive home for the listeners is the more you are in the stuff you love, the more happy you are, the more productive you are, and the more you create that ripple effect into all the other relationships in your life.
100%. Yes, absolutely. And delegating the tasks that you're not great at, like building a website, I suck at. I hate it. I spend time on it. I don't do it. Taxes, not doing that. Pay somebody, you know, those are things that I'm not great at, that I spend hours and hours and hours doing, wasting my time when I can pay somebody else to do that. Again, I'm making money doing the things that I love, and delegating those tasks to somebody else, you know, that frees up my time to make money, to pay somebody to do it, making more money to be able to pay them, but also still, you know, it's absolutely, and also you're not doing things you hate, like building a website. Hate.
And also sometimes it's not even hate, it's just really looking at where your skill set is. It might take you and I 3 to 4 times as long to build a website than it would be to hire somebody who lives in that zone of genius. So it's really just being mindful again about time scarcity and not money scarcity.
Yes. Yeah. It takes me forever. It's just not my expertise. But you also have to recognize those things as well. So recognizing those things in yourself and knowing that you're not great at those things. But that also can be transferred into hiring a coach for those other things as well, in the health aspect as well. Hiring a coach to help you with your food, to help you with your exercise, to help you with those mindsets. If those are obviously things that we may not necessarily know, we're not experts in, we're not knowledgeable in, or great at being accountable in. That's why you hire a coach, because you definitely need the accountability, because that's huge. Because if we don't have somebody saying, you know, you do live calls with people, and if somebody's there saying, you know, what did you do this week? How did you do? How do you feel? What's going on? Here's your check-in. And they're going, oh, I didn't do great, or I did great. It was awesome. Today was a great week. They're having that accountability that they don't necessarily have on your own, right? So you touched a little bit on the 2 types of programs that you do. Can you explain a little bit more about your programs and what they do and how they help women feel amazing naked?
Yeah. So our signature program, we just started our fall cohort. We open the program twice a year. So we start in the fall and then in the spring. And we follow what is called the Naked Method. And that's just a method that I've created through my own education, my own experience. And we really start from this level of self-awareness and getting super aware of our thoughts and how our thoughts drive reality, and then understanding how our belief systems have kind of been hindering us, and then taking that actionable stuff. So the women in that program are really diverse. Many have health-related goals, and some of them are just sitting at this peak of overwhelm in their life, and they just are like, who the heck am I? And what is it that I actually want? The other program, we're about to launch our Business Accelerator, open the doors for our Business Accelerator to our fall cohort. So this is an intimate community of around 10 aspiring coaches, consultants. Sometimes this is just people that are like, I have this skill set and I know I want to teach it to people, but I have no idea where to start. Like in this, my current cohort, we have an amazing teacher who left the traditional classroom and she wants to like tutor the family, the entire family environment, because she sees kids slipping through the cracks. I've got an exec corporate woman who's worked for a Fortune 500 that wants to coach other execs in a virtual way. So it's super cool because all of these girls are coming from all walks of life. I have a money coach in there. And then over the course of 10 months, I literally teach them how to build their coaching consulting practice from the ground up, teach them how to build a framework, how to understand, funnels inside their business and make money ultimately. And then our inner circle is a year-long mastermind experience. We do 2 live retreats included in that. And this is for women who are already profitable inside their business and aren't necessarily in the 0 to 1 stage, but they're looking to be around other, leveled up thinkers, and build a community and also be supported and connect in a deeper way. And I think what does Feel Amazing Naked mean to all of these programs? What's the tie into all 3 is that there has to be a pulse for you and a connection to your own intuition as you go through each of these experiences that helps you understand what your unique needs are and find your own recipe to success to build a life that feels amazing to you, right, while you're doing this work. And I think the struggle for so many of us is we search for answers outside ourselves, thinking that everybody else has their crap figured out. And so my goal is always to bring them back to themselves and to say, hey, how does that feel for you? If you did this inside your business, how would that feel? If you did this inside, which one feels better? And they're like, oh yeah, actually that does feel better to host a workshop instead of a challenge. Cool, go try it, experiment, and collect evidence, so that you see that you are the one making the best decisions for yourself.
That's pretty amazing. And I love that it's all focused on women too, because I think that it's hard to find a very woman-focused, woman-centered group. I think we're very male-dominated in that industry, especially in business. It's hard to find women in business and women-focused business groups as well. So it's great that you have such a strong women focus and building women in business. So I love that. Do you have any events or any other ways for people to kind of meet you or get a hold of you or anything like that, other than just through your website? Or are you just doing these online coaching stuff now?
Yeah, we do some in-person events. I do host retreats twice a year. One is the Feel Amazing Naked retreat experience, which actually we're coming up here in November of 2021. And then I also host a live retreat in January, which is and my dog agrees. January is for entrepreneurs only. And so that's another way. Those are by application only. And also we just have launched something brand new. I was craving the connection with other entrepreneurs in just Arizona. And so I've just started something called the Service Collective, which we're calling Circle for short. And so we're going to be traveling every quarter around different parts of the Valley to host gatherings for aspiring or existing entrepreneurs, just to bring women together to collaborate, to network. And it's a heavy personal development focus, and also it's to grow and connect with other like-minded souls. So you can go to feelamingnaked.com/the collect, or just collective, if you're in Arizona and you want to connect live. Our first one is October 27th, 2021. But the best place to really know what's happening is to listen to the podcast. So you can search the Feel Amazing Naked podcast on all the platforms, because I'm constantly talking about what's up and coming for us. And of course, our website's feelamingnaked.com, which you can kind of see all of our programs and have access to the details there.
Yeah, and you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, yes, everything, all of it, all
on
under
Instagram, though, I'm a little tricky because I am at A Walk My Way, which was kind of where I began my business. So that's just something to look out for. But I am the most active on Instagram.
Okay. So under Instagram, you're a Walk My Way. Otherwise, everybody can find you on Feel Amazing Naked, like feelamazingnaked.com. And I'll post all of those links in my show notes as well. Is there anything else that you think our listeners should know about you or your business, or anything else you want to touch on today?
No, I mean, I appreciate the opportunity to come chat with you. And I think that looking at just who your audience is and looking at that lifestyle component, I think that the thing that I would love to just leave with is, I always talk about, my tagline is sustainability is sexy. And that requires us to do that, like, dirty, raw, unsexy work, whether it's building a business, whether it's overhauling your life, and just understanding that to create something new after years and years, it's unlearning a lot of things and relearning a lot of new, and to know that good things come to those who wait, and just be patient with yourself and trust the process.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect ending. Thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And anybody who's interested in getting some help personally or for business, if you're getting started, or even if you are in a business and need some help to grow, you can find her at feelamazingnaked.com. You can subscribe to her podcast, Feel Amazing Naked, and you can find it everywhere, anywhere. So look for that as well. She's got 150 some episodes. Start from the beginning and
Yeah.
take all your time.
We do tiny little baby episodes on Friday, so it looks like a lot, but our Friday episodes are less than 5 minutes. So.
Cool. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and we will see you all next week.
Thank you so much for listening to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with your host, Gabrielle Mazar. If you would like more information on today's episode, you can find it in the show notes, or you can find it on Gabrielle's website at www.healthybodyworksaz.com. Be sure to share the show, give this podcast a review, and subscribe so you won't miss an episode. Join us next week to hear more stories from people just like you. This has been the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with Gabrielle Mazar.